Paladin troops. I'm just having a look back at what's getting said in the guild. I'm also putting my stuff on the auction house, picking up my very minuscule gold because I don't really have much. I stopped crafting, I stopped making things, stopped selling stuff in the auction house, so just transmog gear that I've kind of picked up along the ways. I've not found a real need for gold farming this expansion. I don't know whether I'm going to go back and pick up the rest of the old professions and try and learn old recipes and stuff. It's still in the back of my head. I would like to have every profession maxed out on every expansion in order to kind of pick up on the old stuff, but I've not decided yet. It is a lot of work. So today we are playing with viewers. We're going to be doing some Mythic keys very shortly. I just need to tidy up my bags and sort out what I've got. Also need to run my sim. I've not picked my vault rewards yet. I've not done the LFR. I've not done half the stuff I need to do. So before I kick off the keys, I'm going to build off, or I'm going to round off my speedrun of dungeons. We'll be doing normal dungeons, 5 of them. Yeah, a bit of champion gear now. I'm kind of at the point I'm beyond champion gear, but I'm hoping, really hoping, that I get the one-handed mace, because that would still be a massive increase for my DPS for doing keys. I'm still also swaying. I'm kind of on the fence whether to build a tough tank for doing keys or a DPS tank for doing keys. Just now, for raiding, I'm definitely putting out a good chunk of DPS. In fact, I think I'm putting out more DPS than some of the DPS in the raids. I've also turned off my overhead lights because I've put the window open to let some air in. Get roasting in here again. And that creepy voice, it's the sunflower. I forgot that even existed. Oh man. I'm sitting wondering, why can I hear something singing in the game? It's a bloody sunflower. This is an old companion pet you used to get, and it goes la la la. It's like, what the fuck? You creepy thing. I don't know if you can hear it. DB. I'm also experimenting with Discord. I've set up a stage, which means that folks on my Discord can come and join, and they'll hear me talking. They just won't necessarily be able to talk to me. It's sort of, my brain's thinking, if I do it this way, then I can still run keys with the guild without them having to listen to my stream constantly going off. Kind of the idea. Let's see if we can get this admin out of the way. I seem to have a lot of transmog gear up for sale. And like, all it takes is for 1 or 2 bits of it to sell, and it's worth a fortune. I've got a pair of boots there. 270k if I can get it to fucking budge, because nobody else is selling it. 9k for another bit, because nobody else is selling. Hey, what's happening, Pixie? You won't be able to talk, pal. You need to join the stream for that part. Also, I did say I was going to show you some mice on stream. So, once you get on, give us a nudge and let us know. Oh, he's away to King's Landing. And we've got 2,290 gold to pick up. Pocket change in this. Shot faulty bag. Oh, there's a couple of things in there. Let's see if there's anything in my tablet I need to get rid of. Actually, is here picked up anything else? Nope, not yet. That's the guilds to be sold. So is that helm? That's mine. They're mine. They're to be sold by me. I'll try and make sure that I split things off. Don't know if Pixie's about. We just tag him. Good evening. It's the afternoon, it's 2 PM. No, not yet. I've put the guild gold to one side. This is my gold. Take some full content, so that one, gold, transmog, and it's cloth. I've not got all the stuff added into the categories yet. I also need to do an update of this profile and stick it into Discord for people. I don't know why I run all the things, because I never actually use it. Right, now to do the guild gold. I think I now just realised who that is. I don't need to. I can fucking farm them very, very easily. I really should actually farm them and sell them. Sell them to the guild to half the folk who don't have them. I'm also tempted to go and do one of the bosses on heroic so the guild can do another. Yeah. I seem to be missing 9 for last night. I don't think those 2 items are actually in the profile yet either. Hang on a second. I think actually most of it's on. I think there's just a couple of things it isn't. Oh dear. That's that stuff done. Just need to add these last two items. Oops. This is gear 415. They really have come down in price, like the BOEs. Nice. I do like a bit of fish every now and again. As long as it's got a nice cream sauce with it, like a nice juicy cream sauce. Right, that's the auction house part taken care of. Now I need to get in about the other part. Doobie doobie doobie. Yes, yes, sir. Cream sauce. I think my transmog's a bit of a half breed just now. I think I've got like half of it done and half of it's not. Is Pixie about? Did he come back on? You disappeared, mate. Oh, I like a bit of chive. Sour cream and chive dip. That's actually quite nice. Right, what have I got in my bags I need to fucking dump? Because there's stuff in here that belongs now to the guild. And some out last night. I actually had a look at something about that fight from last night. There's something really interesting that I picked up on one of the reports, that apparently on heroic or in any of the fights, it doesn't persist after the second boss has been killed. Once you dispel them all in at the end of phase 2, they don't persist. What was the name of that boss again? So throughout the no, that's not the boss I'm looking for. Forgotten experiment. Here we go. Hang on. One of the guides stated that after the second boss, once you've cleared all the orbs and dispelled them all, they don't persist into phase 3, into the third boss. They only persist because they've not been dispelled. If you actually drop them all, you could get rid of them all. Now, we know that Omega can mass dispel and drop them all at the end of that phase. It works on 5 people. Mass dispel works on 5 folks. So if we mass dispel them just as he dies, hey, you're just a person. Right, so the guide from Ready Check Pool states that the boss auto attack put the strike on the tank. Both tanks need a few stacks each before colliding, blah blah blah. I also picked up on something about that whenever the debuff falls off, you should actually collide straight away, so it becomes a lower debuff and it just sort of becomes a background ticking thing. it's then a lot easier to manage rather than waiting to certain points. So like build up a couple of stacks each and then swap it over. Yeah, I was trying to like deal with other shit though. Hey, Pixie. How you doing, pal? I'll get to the mouse thing in a second. If you want to jump in, you can hear what I'm saying. Hey, welcome to the party. Right, so it reads as follows. So throughout the fight, the boss auto attack put inflicting strike each target on the tank. Blah blah blah. Right, we already know about that one. Phase 1. The boss will change. I'll come back to that in a second. The boss will change a few marked players with ravaging charge. Stay away from them. That's the obvious one that fucking dots through them. Dodge the random frontals and run away when the boss calls the roar. People's not moving out that roar. I did notice that. Tanks can mitigate it, but everyone else needs to get out of it, melee included, whether they're platies or not. The second phase. Let the unstable essence debuff ramp up before dispelling it. Once dispelled, move out the circle it spawns on. Heroically quickly kill the ad that spawns from the circle, which we already know about. At full energy, the boss channels whatever it is on heroic, make sure the ads are dead before the channel starts. So the ads need to be done before the boss gets to 100 energy, so that you're not dealing with 2 lots of pulsating damage. There is no mention that those the unstable essence continues into phase 3. The only reason it's continuing into stage 3 is because we're not dispelling it, and it's only dropping off during phase 3. Now what I want to do is I want to watch a replay from our stream, so I need to bring up combat logs from last night. Any one of these pools should do it. And going to the replay. This is wipe 3. So let me see. This is phase 2, and let me just hit play for this point. So 1, 2, 3 people have got the debuff. The boss is now dead. That's when we take down 3 orbs. If they'd have been better grouped, they would have worked really well. What is Phil got on him? Need to bring that up. Yeah, so I mean, this sort of says the same thing of Bloodlust at the start of that phase to reduce the amount of unstable essences on the raid for the rest of the fight. So you don't get any more than he stops putting it out after that's been done. So if the boss is dead, there's no more unstable essence comes out. Healers, raid wide damage, heroic mythic, heal the damage to multiple. Unstable essence is a permanent dot placed on players and deals more damage for every tick when it is debuffed. When This debuff is dispelled, it will jump to the nearest player. As the phase goes on, more players get the unstable essence. And it will spawn. It's no mention of it in that. What's that? Yep. Right, Mythic trap. Forgotten experiment. Heroic. Yeah. Hang on, I'm just having a look down. That's the tank. Right, so phase 2. Regularly puts a permanent dot on players that constantly stacks. Dispelling it makes it jump to a new player and resets the stacks. Dispel players drop a circle that explodes a few seconds later and spawns an ad that casts explosions until killed. Unstable essences persist after. Right, so they persist after he's dead. However, you only have as many stacks as was put out until he dies. Mass dispel players as late as possible, at the same time, and spot. Kill the ads that spawns. So yeah, it's also using the concept that you use mass dispel over the top of a group. I think that's where we're going slightly wrong on it, is we hadn't been using mass dispel. We've been doing single target dispels, whereas I think, but what it needs is folk to actually physically group on top of each other, not like loosely spread on the target, so that they're all dropped in one single location. Then the tanks can come in and help the DPS of it. So the boss needs to be dragged about as well. You can't just stand in the corner and hold the boss in one place. Right. I need to do speed runs of keys. Also, Pixie. I mean, we might give it a bash tonight, depending how many folk we've got. Or we'll maybe do it over the weekend. Like, I might set up an extra raid night for it. I think it can be done. Does MD need to do normal dungeons just out of pure curiosity? Oh, sorry, time walking. Right. Oh, you're easy to find. Anyone else for time walking? Speed runs? Right, Pixie, mice. There is 2 mice I would recommend for you. I know you can hear me because you're in the channel. One is the Logitech G600, which is the one that I use. And if I can get my EPOP cam to work for 2 minutes, I'll show you. Nope, that's Twitch I'm opening. You absolute lunatic. EPOP cam. That way, do a split screen. EPOP. I think you can only listen, unfortunately. I'm still playing about with it, I'm still experimenting. Right, so this is the first mouse. So this is the Logitech G600. No, that's why I've done it this way, so you can actually hear it. So G600 mouse has got, the pros to it is it's got 12 buttons on the side, which corresponds to 1 through E equals on my keyboard. And it also has an additional function key on the side. This is called a G shift key. For me, I've actually rebound it to Alt, which means that becomes double the amount of buttons. So I've got 24 buttons on my thumb. I don't think there is game sound to Discord. Shouldn't be. So yeah, that there is the G shift key giving you 24 buttons. So it's a really good mouse for if you need multiple buttons. You've also got the ability to then rebind at the top here 2 buttons as well. You've got the scroll wheel, and the scroll wheel flicks left and right. Oop, that's my finger, which you can then use as auto run and stuff. Yeah, the full thing's macroable. It comes with software that you can use to macro it. The next mouse that I've got is this one. I'm not quite as a fan of it, but it is also a good quality mouse, which is the Corsair version. It has the same sort of idea. It's got 12 buttons on it. The one thing that I do like about this one is, give me a minute. Don't want to place it there. Bear with me 2 seconds. I'll put you around here. This cuts out. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting to put my battery on charge. So that one that I have has got RGB as well. I've coloured mine red. This one, which is the Corsair Scimitar, is the RGB Elite version. You hate RGB. You can turn it off. So this is brand new. I've never even used this mouse. I bought it because I was going to change over to Corsair at one point. So, pros and cons to this one. Let's get the camera background. So it's got the same concept of, it's got the 12 buttons on the side, which have got a little notch on the centre one. Don't know if you can just see that. So that you can feel with your thumb where your finger's sitting. These are also more flush, but what you can do is on the base of it, it's got a little Allen key screw, allowing you to move the pad forwards. So you can move, depending if you've got longer fingers or shorter fingers, you can move this pad backwards and forwards. It's the exact same kind of idea, except it doesn't have a G shift key, so it doesn't have an additional shift or alt key that you can program, but it has got a rest part. It's a more slimmer design, and let's say you can move this further forward if you are like me and you keep your hand forward, whereas this one, I'll just angle up a bit, you'll see the keys actually angle in on themselves, so the front row and the middle row face onto each other, and the back 2 rows face onto each other, which means that your thumb sort of sits in the groove of that part, so it's a movement up and down between the 2 pads. And this is what I use whenever I'm doing everything. Yeah, so this one goes backwards and forwards between the 2 pads, and yeah, it just sort of becomes a very much a rotational around the keys. And oh fuck, I'm flying all over the place. I just find it a lot comfortable. The thing that I really enjoy about this one more than anything is the additional key, which is the shift function. So I've bound that to Alt. So I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, 0, minus and plus. And then on top of that, if I hold Alt, I've got Alt 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the way through as well. So I've got double the amount of keybinds at my thumb, and it's why I'm able to have. So if you ever look at my character in game, you'll notice that I have. I'll do it that way. Along my action bar, if I just span it around. The other thing to do is, look, whenever you're moving, I actually click to move. So my character is mostly moved by depressing both my mouse pad keys at the same time. So if I just hold it here a second. So rather than me using my keyboard, I move by walking by holding in both keys at the same time. It's how I tend to walk about dungeons. By holding in on the right key, you can rotate, so you can turn and move very quickly and easily. It's normally how I'll move out the way of stuff. If, however, I am going to strafe out stuff, which is the thing you're talking about, I didn't rebind my primary keys. I actually still use my keys as they normally would, and Q and E, which is sort of seen as the cardinal sin of not to do, is my strafing keys. But as a tank, I want to be able to walk backwards to drag mobs back with me, and if there's a frontal cone, I want to be able to move out of it, but I then want to get myself back into position so that I'm back to where I was at the start. So I will strafe out, cone comes out, I'll strafe back in, and then I'll pick up the mobs again. And then I'll kite backwards, and I'll walk and turn backwards like so. So whenever I'm kiting mobs, I kite by using the S key and the Q's and E's. But if I'm running forwards, I'll then swap to simply just holding in both keys. And if we go and visit, if I just hit spacebar a second. So this here is me using the bound keys. So you can see me flying about and stuff. And it's so much easier to be able to fly just by holding in these two buttons, and it brings you all the way in. Now, if I go to training, damn it. Yeah, some people rebind them. Now, if I start going through, I'll show you. I can position this just about right. You'll see sort of more the movement that I use on the mouse. Yeah, exactly. I don't cast with my left hand at all. So if I just start my rotation on the training wheel, so that's now, so you can see here, this is my spell that it's telling me on Hakili, which is Alt 1. So I hold in the Alt function and press button 1. Alt 2, Alt 5, Alt 6, 4, 6, 4, 2. And this is how I cast my spells. This is what, if I'm following Hakili to do it at the time. And it just becomes a rocking motion. And it becomes a muscle memory. You just get to know the associated, and it leaves the cursor free. So if I was having to then move to a quick location, if I want to then interrupt a target for some reason because it's about to cast on me, then I'm able to bring the cursor down over them, quickly swap target, use my shield, I can then mouse over. I use mouse over macros to kick, hammer. I do stand in it. I do stand in it, I just need to move out it to kite. Unlike you, I don't fucking stand perfectly still. I like to move to reallocate people and position things. But yeah, so it just becomes that rocking motion around the pad. So that's all it is. And by leaving your hand free, if I'm doing a static target fight, I'm able to mouse over all the different targets. Because these spells here are set as mouse over macros, I can quickly mouse over it, taunt. I can kick by mousing over it. Hammer of Justice, all these different spells are bound, or I can quickly swap target by just clicking on them. And then whenever I go to move off to the next pack, I'll turn and run to the next group, put myself into position. If I need to move backwards, I then start using keyboard at that point. But yeah, that's... So the two mouses that I would recommend is either the Logitech, which is a right hand one. It's the left one. Do you want to really look at mitigation? Go and look at the amount of mitigation I've done versus yours. I still beat you for mitigation overall. So this is a Corsair, and this is the Logitech. And I would, if you've got a lot of spells to use, Logitech, because you've got that alt function. If you've got if you want the ability to move the pad, then Corsair. Yeah, I find that there is just a natural feeling. Your thumb sits in the groove of one part or the other. Wait to bring this back to the bigger screen so you can see it better. So yeah, that there I find is a much more better solution. I think the camera died at some point during all that as well. Probably my phone's about to die. But there we go. Take that off, do that. That should hopefully help you a little bit, mate. So yeah, that's it, the two kind of look better brands. It's either the Corsair Scimitar, which is customizable in terms of the key bindings. All you do is go in and map your key binds. The same way the Logitech. I really should put an affiliate link out. Yeah, that's pretty much how I play. Look, my strength and movement keys, if I need to move, is on my left hand. I'll also use shift periodically. So with my external cooldown stuff. So if I'm putting Blessing of Protection, Sacrifice, Freedom, or I'm using Combat Res or Resurrection itself, then I would use shift and just hold it in on the keyboard along with then the number. The reason I don't use shift as my normal spell key as my secondary spell bar is you end up with sticky key thing happening where it comes up saying, oh, you've used shift too many times in the last couple of seconds. Yeah, I know I have because I'm hitting shit. But yeah, so you have it so that I still have shift bound to keys. So I use no modifier on this bar along the bottom. I use Alt on my secondary bar, which is my major cooldowns and mitigation spells and self-healing. Use Alt, also a better option. And then Shift is on my top row, which is external cooldowns. So Protection, Sacrifice, Freedom. Also Arcane Torrent, which removes debuffs from players. It also gives me 1 Holy Power. Combat Potion, Dead Combat Potion, Flash Heal, Drums, Invisibility Potion, to use the Warlock Gate, Resurrect players, and Combat Res. So they're all on Shift. And most of these are macroed. So if I go into my macro buttons a second, I'm going to my Paladin. So you can see here, if I go to Combat Res, it's Show Tooltip, stop all other casts, cast it mouse over, and then the Combat Res. And that works by simply mousing over the player's name, and as long as they're in range of me, I can then Combat Res them. Same way the likes of Protection and Sacrifice and Freedom. These can all be put on people just by simply mousing over them, holding in Shift, and as long as they're in range of me, it'll work. I don't like Click. I had it in the past. I didn't like it. I'd rather write my own macros because then I can dictate how it actually lays out. It also means that if you're running as a healer, you can run help harm spells. It looks like... So, if you're currently... Are you a left-handed player? Left-handed mouse? I don't even know if you can get that in a left-handed mouse. Never thought of that. Oh yeah. You can do. You can set a cast sequence, and you can add in a cooldown for them. Oh, mine's do. Look, I've got my trinkets in here. So it's show tooltip / use 13 for that one and use 14 for that one. You can set them up though, so that they are in a cast sequence, and you can have it so that it resets after a certain period. So that one, it's got a 1 minute cooldown, and that's got a 2 minute cooldown. So you can have it so that it resets after a certain period. But I wouldn't normally set trinkets to be in a cast sequence for that. Right. So the likes of no, so the likes of that one needs to be done. 2 seconds. So you don't want it to be mouse over for likes of traps. You want it to be at cursor, so it places it at where your cursor is. So for example, let's say I'm going to use quick markers. Let's say that you wanted to put your trap over here. You'd have it so that it places at cursor. You can cast your trinkets when you cast other things, as long as you have it in the right order. So you'd have the spell first, and then the use 13 and 14 second. So yeah, you can do it. It's pretty easy. Just put in show tooltip, and then cast whatever it is, new line, and then it should be use 13. If you put the trinket as the last item, a cursor. No, so a cursor basically means that wherever you have the cursor placed, so I'll use the traps as an example. So this looks like the marker you get for a trap. So whenever it's at cursor, now I'm using the moon icon just now for this. So if you have your mouse, now you wouldn't see the target area, but if you have it so that it's at cursor, it will land where the cursor is. At mouse over is for nameplates and stuff. So things like kick and interrupts works at mouse over, because then that works on raid frames. Whereas
it's too far away.
Cursor is more to place things on the ground. Craft orders. Let me have a look, because it seems to be on a craft order. Right, so next job, time walking. Who needs some time walking? Yeah, it can be quite difficult to understand what macros are doing. It can sometimes sound quite complex. But see, once you get used to what they are and what they're doing, it's so easy. What? I sign up as a healer and don't heal. I'm not healing. I've not even set it up for healing. Anyway. Anybody else for time walking? Time walking speed runs. Ah, I've got dual spec, I've got DPS. There you go. Two-handed axe. Dual spec, I can go as DPS. I just need to tidy up my action bars and stuff for it. I'm going to kill my neighbour, I really am. Right, what else is getting said over here? That was the raid thing. Feels good. Hopefully that helped. Yeah, I really want that fucking Zarkrath trinket. I need to also finish upgrading. I need the Flightstone, I think, for that trinket that I picked up the other day there. That one. I can take it to 437. I just need to upgrade it with Flightstone. And then that'll get rid of that one temporarily. I still also do the cat. Oh, you motherfucker. Why is it always a DPS? I need to have a look at what I've got. Happening, dude. Yeah, we're just about to do a time walking thing. I really need to go and do it. You getting armed?
Anti-magic shell.
Why are you grabbing more shit? That's that one. Where's the healer? You know that the more that you stand back there, the more that you're spawning shit in. It's the warden that you need to get rid of.
Anti-magic shell.
There. It's that part there that you need to deal with.
Weaklings, let me make room for guests. Let me show you some mine. Talk to me, serpent. Together, we will destroy the intruders.
Anti-magic shell.
Heal team.
Even together, we failed.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it, we were just talking about it earlier actually. We probably will actually go and do it. There's a couple of things I'm going to show people on Sunday to show them of how to do it. I was sitting over the logs and stuff from it last night. So what we'll probably do is we'll spend a little bit of time in Starcraft to try and get that out of the way, because we're very close to that one and folk need a bit more practice on it, and then go back and do the heroic to round off.
Shah, to reawaken after all these years. If you truly wish to undo what your kind have done, must first prove yourself here in our school.
It's just a free-for-all fight.
Where one falls, another will rise. You have much to learn if you wish to defend your people from the Shah initiate. Stand aside for your fellow students. You have much to learn if you wish to defend your people. Falls, another will best in our most junior of students. Now you will face two of my most senior.
Oh, look, there's some cookies at the back. And a free heal. Come on.
Flying snow, fragrant lotus, forward. Best is my prize student. Perhaps you can be used to us after all. As my master once said, you cannot truly know.
Do.
Come forward, so that we may be properly introduced.
Shockwave.
It's but a physical manifestation.
Sorry, but I was just
of
mitigating
martial
it.
strength. Show spiritual power is. so much more.
Do-do-do-do. Drag these to the side.
Countered.
Take one to Philip.
Anti-magic shell. Countered.
Personally, I'm just going to run and go for the boss.
Anti-magic shell.
Spelling them quite nicely.
I need to get closer.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Anti-magic shell. Countered.
Sneak around.
Consume and conquer.
And so you've got to consume your fear.
Kill ads.
I'm not going to bother with that.
Countered.
Oh, stop combat. Right, time to leave this group.
The Shah of hatred has fled my body and the monastery as well. I must think.
Are you still about, Vimy? Yeah, yes. Yeah, so I was thinking on Sunday we'll go and do normal. We'll do first boss, skip to Echo, and then jump down to do Serkrith for a little bit, and then go and do Heroic on the second half of the evening and get that fight out of the way, the chamber one. And then that should then give us, that'll give, I've not done my vote rolls yet, that gives 5, I think. Hang on, 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to leave them as well. What I tend to do is wait until after we've done everything with the guild, and then on Monday I'll go and do pug stuff. If you're about on Monday and we've not done any of it, give me a shout and I'll go and do the rest with you. And DK's away to get another one. I also need to pick up the my bolts. I've not even seen what's in my vault yet. Oh, do I want to look or do I want to wait until after I've done time walking? I think I'll wait till after I've done time walking. What I do need to do though is I need to dump off a few things in the bank. DK, give us a shout when you're ready, mate. Nope, wrong button. I meant to hit the back button. Scroll bound. So move that down there. I thought it was hero this week. Well, it depends actually, is it not on what boss it comes from? That needs to be deed. That's to get sold. That's to get deed. We'll put that up there. Deed. Same. Alright, okay. I mean, there's still a weapon that I'm looking for off it. Can't fucking do it with this stuff. Just like that. Get more for vending that one.
Finest goods in the Isles. Hope to serve you again.
These, and then these can be used for folk. So if anybody's needing the aspect and enchanted crest, let me know. I can do them. That one there. And as you can see, I've got plenty of the dust. I've even got the shards, and this is why I DE stuff is for the resonant crystals. I can even make them for you, because I've got an alchemist on this character as well. And where is it? There. I've got 2 charges. I'll have 3 charges in an hour's time. You need 2. You want both of them, and then you give me a couple of days. But yeah, if anybody wants the enchanted aspect, just hit us up. I don't charge guildies for shit. The only thing that you need to get me is the materials to make that, and you need to come to me with the aspect crest because I don't have them. I need to get them myself. Okay, I'm going. Wait, and you? Yeah, I can see why. I really need to sit and go through logs. I might actually have a look over stuff at the weekend and put a list of bits and pieces as sort of pointers for people and tag them in it. The thing that actually I wanted the healers to look at is using QE Live to plan out their cooldowns. There's the ability to write it into method raid tools using QE Live into their notes, very similar to what we used to have last year. But rather than me planning out for them, they know themselves by looking at their own logs where to upload them to. It means then that CDs aren't being wasted, it means that they're going out at the right times. Oh, this is a fucking piss easy run. Get the boss in about 2 seconds.
Yes, is now in session. Missed. Not withstand my power.
Did somebody get trapped outside? Well, it's kind of funny.
Never die. This cannot be.
Why is it hunters? Always hunters fucking tagging shit they don't need.
Take some real stones to challenge the mistress of illusion. Well, show me what you've got. Come, try your luck.
Nope, that's not it.
Feel the beats. Dizzy.
Oh, really? Actually, the other thing as well, Jamie, I would want to say to you about is try and make sure you're using your innervate over the top of when there's major damage coming out and people are using big cooldowns. Healing.
You there. Make yourselves useful. Feel the stuff.
And I've got a really good add-on that I can explain to you about later. It's how I know who's doing different abilities. It does the callouts.
My dear,
Run, necroman. Or fight ends once I catch my breath.
come, boss. Your fate awaits you.
Did somebody just run out the room?
Anti-magic shell.
Yes, girl. I am the
Yes,
Dark
boss.
Master. I command the undead.
I won't let you. Oh.
Now turn your lovely rune blade on our death. And
Anti-magic shell.
first now, Lillian.
Can you hear the heartbeat?
Time
Do, 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 do. Chest in the got another room.
Leave me.
Yeah, they've got I'm going yet.
If you haven't come to study, I use you to teach school is infected.
Anti-magic shell.
You get a portal? Or did you get locked out? Do. One. I'm not opening it. I'm not opening it. Has it been a while? You can get a week order to remind you about it, but the add-on that I was going to tell you about is it does raid callouts. Hang on, wait, I just remember the name of it. It's how I know when folks are actually taunting and when people are using likes of rallying cry or anything else. It's all the sort of stuff that I want to track. What's it called? Vocal Raid Assist. So Vocal Raid Assist. Remind me whenever I come out of this, I'll show you. This is how I know when people are doing things and when they're not, and how I know that spells have been cast, as well as also track them, but for like the general point.
Anti-magic shell.
You don't need that, don't tag. Sure. Use the barrel to smack into him. Okay, that's the part that was waiting on. He was going to do it and he cancelled it a second ago. What, Naga? Yeah. Fucking stinking.
Run.
What's it? What are they doing to our element? Hey, hey, you! Those are our. It's so close. Pinch it. Better. Just a drop of honey. King of sugar. More. Yes. More. Come on.
Say please. Suppose it's already started the cast sequence. Can't find a second one now.
Counter.
No. 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 Yes. Never.
Counter.
Gather item. Keep moving. Keep moving.
Counter. Anti-magic shell.
Keep moving.
I like that last
Mm. Yeah, I'm not doing it with Warlock.
perfect. Being a storm stout.
How many is that we've done? Right, let me, that's some craft details. Let me bring up this add-on just so you can see it a second. So, voice raid assistant is the name of it. And what it has is you can get different audio packs for it.
Tranquility.
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 Depending what you want to listen to. DK, you probably want this one.
Tranquility. Tranquility.
Anyway, so what you can have it do is either in raid or in dungeons or outdoors or arenas, battlegrounds, so on and so forth. And you can specify the general abilities you want. So when people use drums or when certain utilities are used. Vimy, the thing you want to look at is all the healing classes. So things like monks, and you want to know when they're using like their big heals, because that's the stuff that's going to be best to innervate over. Because if you innervate them, then they get free heals, essentially. So things like let's see, the defensive raid abilities. So like a symbol of hope, and stuff like that. Now I don't track everything, but I like to know that PI is going out, so I can hear it. I know when defensives are going off. But yeah, you want to have a look at when things are being used. It's also a good way, if you're then in dungeons, to be able to find out when people are doing certain things. So I track rallying cry in dungeons. I don't really bother too much. I do use spell reflection because I was using it in a previous dungeon at one point because I needed to know it. Same with like that anti-magic shell. So I know that when people are doing sort of the personal mitigation.
Spell reflection. Spell block.
But yeah, you can go through and customize it, take out the bits you don't want. Also, you can track to find out when other people are using innervate or soothe, and Stampede and Row. He's listening. He's in the stream.
Rebirth.
It's essentially the defensive raid stuff, because that is major cooldowns. It's not necessarily just Zenir's mana. I mean,